didn't really have like a story that I came up with, but
Mm-hmm.
off of some of the prompts, the one that stuck out to me was a homeless like veteran, because like whenever I go back home, I have to take either my mom or dad to the VA hospital. I pass through, and on the way there, you see like all these homeless veterans always passing, or just on the streets, and that caught me because of all of your stories.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing that we need to be mindful of is we can absolutely use veterans in this story. We just need to be mindful of how politicized that can become.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do that, we need to be careful. Does anyone have any comments about, I guess about that topic in general?
Just because, I know this can go all across the board of homelessness, but just because veterans were brought up, I immediately think of the song Wrong Side of Heaven by Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
And it talks about, like, the song itself doesn't, but in the video of the song, they talk about how a lot of homeless vets struggle with not only their PTSD, but the alcoholism that they usually induce with that.
Yeah, I think so.
And being within a brown bag, living from the brown bag. And that's all they live from and for. And they eventually just become walking, motionless people and can't move anymore. Because they found no hope of life. Like, because they lost everything. Like, a lot of people when they get home from, like, being in the military do lose their, like, connection of life. They can't connect back into society. They, like, might lose their partner, stuff like that. So, just something to bring up from there.
Molly.
I've already talked. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, so I just had a presentation for one of the classes that I'm in, and I just had to watch a film, and it's called Indian Horse, and it's about this boy who was brought to one of the residential schools in Canada, and he was raised there, and he, like, learned to play hockey there, and he grew up there with all of his, like, all the other kids, and he was, like, a really good hockey player, and he could have gone on to, like, play pro, but he had PTSD. He had, like, basically all of the stuff that he had gone through, like, weighed so much on his mind that he, like, couldn't handle it anymore, and he ended up being homeless. He was an alcoholic, and there's one point in the film where he has just gotten, like, he's in the hospital and they're discharging him, and this doctor is like, you can't go on a binge again because it will kill you this time. And whatever they did to, like, make him look the way he looked was nuts. Like, it's crazy because he was an athlete, and he went from being this, like, just, like, this tough, like, hockey player, and now he's just, like, this beaten down man who looks so many years older than he really is.
Yeah.
So you literally just, like, described it, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah.
Interesting. Jay?
I was gonna say, I think that it's important not to make the entire thing a sob story. Not that that's what we've been doing here. I just mean, like, because they're still every single one of them has a sense of humor, has things that they like, and I think it's just as important to show that side as it is to show the societal impact of homelessness on people. I also, one of my favorite memories was when I was in New York as a little 16-year-old. I was on a subway for the first time, and all of a sudden, this 4-pack of homeless people. A quartet, pardon me, I couldn't remember the word, I'm sorry. A quartet.
I'm sorry, 4-pack wings.
A quartet of homeless people started singing, and they were just walking up and down the subway singing this beautiful song, and it was like they were professional. You could have 20 years earlier probably heard them on stage, like it was mind blowing. I was like, I didn't know people could do, it was eye opening for me as a podunk Marquettian. But it was so, you could hear all of their experience in their voice, for better or for worse. And I don't think we really have, I don't know if we have the crew to do something like that, but I think that music and laughter should be implemented at some point in this process, so it's not just one homeless people, you know, like,
Yeah.
it has to have, because it's not hopeless, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Just because you're homeless don't mean you're hopeless. And I just wrote a Lin-Manuel Miranda song. Sorry.
So I have to buzz out.
Okay.
Before I do, I'm gonna ask if each of you would find a piece of music that you like that's in the free domain area. I know. If you can do that. Yeah.
They do that.
Wait, that's in what? Question?
If
Free
you-
domain, the
before we
public
meet
domain.
again,
Royalty free.
yes, royalty free. If
Oh,
you
okay.
could try to find a piece of royalty free music that you like.
Yeah. Any style.
Any
genre.
style, anything that moves you, that you like,
Mm.
okay?
Yeah.
And then, what was the other thing I was gonna say? I just think it's really important for us to continue seeking into each individual in this room and find out, like, where they are most vulnerable, so that we can then relate that.
Mm.
So that we're not putting on shirts. Because obviously, we're actors and we're gonna be putting on a shirt, but we wanna make it the most organic shirt we can.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and absolutely. And going to expand on that, we've talked a lot about a lot of different type of people and characters. We need to be very careful that we don't tokenize any of them, that we don't just take the outer layer of someone and just throw a stereotype on stage. Like, we need to make sure that it's a three-dimensional, it's a real person. Like Jake said, like, there's good, there's bad, you know, it's gray.
Because they're also, not every homeless person is an angel, you know? Like, some
Yeah.
people have gotten there by their own mistakes, but not everybody.
Absolutely. And Emily, you said you had something?
Have fun for the rest of your evening.